Are you two dating?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I would just wanted to clarify.
You guys,
That's what I
I
thought.
feel like you guys should let him know. Maybe
Yeah,
he
I
might-
feel like that's a key point.
Are you guys bisexual or lesbian or?
Honestly, she's the first woman I've dated, and she's just my life partner. We're not really like sexually intimate like that. We just have complementing characteristics.
So you're roommates?
No,
Best
we share a
friends.
bed and we cuddle and we kiss, but we don't involve each.
We don't do.
We're Christian.
Okay, but
We don't have sex.
I am so intrigued.
I'm very intrigued.
This is going to be the
Hold
best podcast
wait,
ever.
so
can't be
couple
very
clarifying
Christian.
questions. Couple clarifying questions here. So, have you ever dated men?
Yes.
Have you dated men?
Yes,
So you guys consider yourselves bisexual then?
in a sense.
Biromantic.
But currently, I
You're
don't
not.
have sex. I'm not.
Neither of you are sexual.
Yes.
But you guys have said that you've been dating for 3 years.
3 years.
Have you been
Exclusively. Monogamous.
dating each other for 3 years?
Correct.
Yes.
There's been no other women or no other men in that 3-year time period?
Correct. That's what that means.
And you guys cohabitate, you live together?
Yes.
Okay. Have you guys ever
In the
had...
same room, in the same bed.
You guys never had... Have you guys
We've
ever had sex?
We have, and we... Honestly, anytime I've ever had sex in my life, it doesn't feel that great to me because that's, one, I'm not married, and I'm a Christian, and that's not how I be rolling.
Okay. And then, so you guys are you guys going to get married?
Hopefully.
We would like to, but
In Heresy Church land, or?
Yeah, I actually know lots of pastors. Sorry, they're not Orthodox, so they don't follow your exact beliefs. But if God came to us and actually gave me a convicting feeling, I would, and we knew that God does not want us to be together. We've been blessed so much in our relationship. We have,
we came
that's
to
period.
God together, honestly. And
Yeah.
I mean, as much as each of us had our, knowledge of God prior, we came closer to God and to Christ since being together. And, if, as much as we love each other, if at the end of the day, God didn't want us to be together.
And he brings us a husband and says, this is your husband. I'm obedient to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. And
What are your thoughts on the fact that the Bible says that marriage is between a man and a woman?
Well, hang on. We want to get through. We'll see if we can get through the questions.
Oh,
We'll
we're
move
still
back
doing
to the
introductions.
chat.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I do have a
We'll
for
follow
sure.
it back up.
Yeah,
Sorry.
we'll come back to that. So, okay. So, what about you?
I've been married for 14 years, and I was a virgin on our wedding night.
Married 14 years. So you got married at 23?
Yes.
23. Okay.
I am single, and my longest relationship was 5 years, and I've been single for 3 years.
Wait, your longest relationship was 5 years. You've been single for 3 years, but you're 23. So this was like
24.
24. For some reason, I put down 23. So this was like kind of a high school relationship, the 5-year one.
Correct.
Okay. And that was a 5-year relationship.
Yes.
Okay. With what's your orientation?
I'm straight.
Straight. Okay. All right, Andrew. What about you?
Yeah, I've been married for 12 years, I think.
Okay. Well then, where do we begin? Where?
Okay.
Do we begin?
Well, can we?
I vote
Let's go
not
back to this. Let's go back to this previous conversation we were discussing. So, how do you reconcile the fact, or do you just decide to move off to your own interpretation that this is? I'm trying to figure out how to frame this for the purpose of TOS. That Christianity is not approving of the type of lifestyle that you have.
That's my question.
Christianity is also not approving of the type of things you talk about on this podcast. People having this hookup culture.
Mm-hmm.
God.
Is this a tu quo?
Yeah.
Do you want to just answer the question though?
What was your question again?
Yeah, so the question is, how do you reconcile it? Even if assuming that everybody else is around you is sinning, that in and of itself would not justify
I actually
your
don't
sin,
excuse that as sinning, but
Right, that's my point. though,
As
is
we
how
don't
do you,
have
how do you
the-
reconcile that?
well, I do believe that we're not in a wrong relationship.
This is the best relationship that I have ever been in. I've been in 7 relationships. A lot of them were really bad. Most of them were with men. I actually didn't date any women until I dated her. She pulled me out of really dark times, and I'm the best version I am because of her.
You
And
could
I
say
mean-
we're like nuns together then.
I think it's really
Nuns
beautiful
who
what
kiss
you're
and
saying.
cuddle and make out in bed.
I
We do not make
personally
out,
believe
And I
even
think that's a
marriage.
difference.
I believe Apostle Paul in Corinthians
Who
did
says
say
that man?
Mar-
It says that man and woman and man.
Were you
must
gonna let me
not
finish
ever
my
lay
words?
with
She
man or
wasn't
nor
finished
woman
talking,
with woman,
so
right?
I think it's pretty rude that you.
Yeah, I
he
don't
also
care what you think.
he also says no. He hates us now because we date each other.
I don't hate you. We're having a conversation.
But you interrupted, which means
So
automatically
what? And
means
then
you don't
she
respect
interrupted
me.
me.
So
Which means she doesn't respect me. So anyway, back to
I
this.
don't respect you.
Good. Then the feeling is mutual. Go ahead.
Cool.
you're not a very godly man.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I'm not the one making out with someone in the same sex in a bed.
First
We don't
of
make
all,
out.
It's
we do not
okay.
make
We don't make out.
You
We
just
haven't
said
even
you
kissed
did.
one
You said
time
you make
today.
out and cuddle in the same bed. What are you
I said
talking
we
about?
kiss,
Kiss.
and
which
we
is
actually haven't even made. We haven't kissed once this. the
So
whole
you just
day.
fucking roommates?
If that's
Like
what you
that's
want to
it?
call
That's
it.
what it is? Just
There's
roommates?
so much more that goes into.
Anyways, what I
the
was
relationship that we
saying
have.
about Corinthians, thank you very much, is actually marriage. Apostle Paul believes everybody should stay single, and if you want to get married, it's because you can't control yourself and your sexual desires. And that is also what he means by submitting to each other, because you are. The human race is so disgusting and wild that we want to fuck everybody.
What?
So we need to.
What?
Not
get married
everybody
so that-
wants to do that.
That's true.
Not
but
everybody
the
wants to do
hookup
that.
culture, I'm generalizing like they do, and I feel like it makes sense.
Wait, why is the human race disgusting? What were those your words?
They definitely, when Jews and Gentiles, the Gentiles were not. That's how the state we're in right now.
The
Hookup
human race is-
culture.
Yeah, but how is this not
Disgusting.
perpetuating that same state of degeneracy?
Anyways, marriage was only is brought because men and women can't control themselves. So you need to pick one person.
Yeah, the opposite sex is what Paul said. He said you must take a wife. You must take a wife.
If you
To
cannot
men,
control yourself.
To men, you must take a wife. He specifically forbade man to lay with man, a woman to lay with woman. In Corinthians.
This is why I don't believe in
Can
religion.
I ask you girls a question? If you, let's say you cut the kissing out. Kendall and I are like, we're besties, man. Like, we would love to do everything with each other all the time.
Well, and we are
what's stopping
currently-
you guys from just being best friends if you thought that the Bible told you what Andrew is exactly saying, that is to be man and woman? Why couldn't you two just say, well, let's just stop kissing, and then we're best friends, and we are the best relationship ever, but now our relationship is biblical? What's to stop that?
That's kind of where we've been heading to.
Okay.
And in that case, I would not be pursuing anybody else for the rest of my life.
Me as well. And I mean,
And I wouldn't
You guys don't
necessarily
want-
want to be pursued unless I
don't
literally
want-
knew God said, this is your husband.
Why not just become a nun?
Yeah, would you
Yeah.
consider yourself asexual?
I prefer not to have sex, so maybe, yeah.
Yeah, why not just be a
That
nun?
makes sense.
I can be,
Is there something in your past that
but I'm not
causes you-
Catholic.
Is there something in your past that
mean, you
causes
could
you to
convert.
dislike sex? I know that's personal, I'm sorry, but
No, that's okay. Yes, I have been sexually assaulted on multiple accounts, but it didn't stop me from wanting a man when I was younger. As I just got older, like graduating from high school, I just realized I didn't want those sexual connections. And to me, since I have been sexually assaulted, and that is how I lost my hymen, so I know I can't get it back because somebody took it from me. So in that case, your funny joke, remember? And
It was a funny joke.
It wasn't.
It was.
It wasn't.
It was really a funny joke.
Because you're a man
In
and
your
you like to make
opinion.
jokes at the expense of other people's emotions.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. What makes a joke funny?
Something that makes you laugh. You're not funny
And
to
it made me laugh. So it was funny.
To you.
Yeah. Well, it made a lot of people laugh. Thousands upon thousands of people.
And it made
But it did
thousands
make-
upon thousands of
Luckily,
people
we have
angry.
you here
I
to
missed the
tone
joke.
police us. Thank
See,
you so
I
much.
wouldn't-
I believe you're on this podcast just to insult women and not actually to learn anything about women. You talk about how women don't want an average, mediocre man, or that men have such a
does?
hard time getting laid, and maybe that's because your
him.
focus is
It's
on
not
getting
me.
laid.
What?
Yeah, I don't
Instead
talk
of
about it.
dating.
I literally don't talk about any of that. I don't know what
Him,
you're talking about.
he does.
Oh yeah, how do you know?
Because I watched the podcast
Well, just
to do
a
some
second
research.
ago, you were attributing that to me. So clearly, you don't watch the podcast.
I do watch the podcast.
Then why would you attribute that
I
stuff
believe
to me?
she's referring to a comment you made in one of the episodes.
Which
that you
is
said. It
what
was
is the
probably like
comment?
3 episodes
the
ago,
comment?
I think. Was it 3 episodes ago, maybe?
the Hyman one?
I think so, right?
Yeah.
I saw it on TikTok.
do
yeah,
not
that
remember
was
it.
super funny.
To you.
I don't
Yeah,
even
okay,
remember the
but-
Hyman thing. I
Well,
don't
so
even
we
remember
were
it.
talking about born again virgin,
Yeah.
Oh,
right?
right.
And this particular woman happened
Which
to
is
be,
a real thing. Jesus cleanses
happened
away
to
your sin when
be
you get
happened to be a
baptized.
porn. Yeah,
There's no-
Jesus wanted
there's
you to
no
be a
such
lesbian.
thing as a born
So
again
anyway,
virgin.
yes, the Hyman comment. There's no born again virgin, and she was an OnlyFans prostitute.
I watched the thing and you said, oh
that's-
yeah, can you
that-
get your hymen back?
Yeah, that's a lot different than.
Do you know
than
1 in
an
3
SA.
women have been sexually assaulted?
Does that mean that 1 in
Okay.
3 women have been sexually assaulted, and that's what removed their hymen?
A lot of women have lost their hymen that way.
No,
yes.
I don't think they have.
Actually, yes, they have.
No,
Joke?
they actually haven't.
Hold
You're
One in-
lying through your teeth.
I'm not lying through
yeah,
my
you
teeth.
are. What are the stats then? For
1 in
women
3
who have
women
lost
have been
their
sexually
hymen
assaulted.
from SA. Go ahead, tell me.
She's a
Wait, hang on, hold up.
I'm
hold
not
up.
a feminist.
Yeah,
What's the
bullshit.
hymen?
You are feminist because
You
that's
haven't asked that
statistics.
question.
No, I'm really
haven't
not
asked
a
that question
feminist.
yet, so
Statistic
you
is
can
I'm a
false.
put that on
feminist.
her.
I'm not
and I might
particularly
disagree with
inclined
you.
though. because
Totally.
What's a
his-
hymen?
Hold on. His joke.
I'm not a feminist.
His joke.
I don't
had-
think women should do whatever they want
Hey,
with their bodies.
Let me
I don't
finish my
think,
statement. Cool. Hey, stop. One person at a time.
but I don't think he should control everything.
Stop. His joke had nothing to do with SA.
Nothing.
Yes, but it was insensitive to people who have been through SA. But you don't understand because you're a man and you've literally never experienced the things that women experience.
This is a fallacy.
can't
This
be
is actually a
SA'd.
fallacy.
Men can't be SA'd?
It's a fallacy that you're a man and you don't know what women have
No,
experienced.
it's a fallacy to say that I'm not allowed to have an opinion because of my sex. That's fallacious.
It is fallacious argumentation.
I can't have a position on something because you know what I do have?
You can
a
have an
brain.
opinion, but it doesn't mean it's facts. It seems you put all your opinion as a
Just like
factual
saying
statement.
that-
Like I said,
that
you're
a
not
lot
here
of
to
women
learn
lose
from
their hymen
anybody,
through
but you
SA,
want
that's
us to
not a
learn
fact.
from you.
I'm going to be a little bit controversial here because I should be on like Team Woman, but I think it's not fair to be offended by a joke about hymen when it wasn't your hymen. And it was a joke about.
He also proceeded to
it was
say
a joke
women aren't
about-
funny and can never be funny, and that's why women
and
didn't
we
laugh
know
at that
this
joke.
is true because you're here tone policing and being a whine ass about jokes.
I laugh all the time, and I find people
About
funny.
what? What do you
I
laugh about?
Have men tell me I'm funny all the time.
The
Cool.
joke was about a
You don't seem-
prostitute,
you know
not
what?
a sexual assault victim. And I hope I'm not hearing you like say that she wasn't sexually assaulted, right?
This conversation is all over the fucking place.
No.
His joke had nothing to do with
that.
SA.
Agreed.
So like your logic.
That's
here,
not
wait,
the
hold
point.
on, hold on. Stop interrupting.
let me explain.
say
Okay,
one
go
thing.
ahead.
Let me say one thing. Your logic here is a bit failing because you're reaching. You're reaching for. He made a joke about. Let's say he made a joke about sex, and you're somehow coming to the conclusion if you make a joke about sex or bodily anatomy that's somehow always going to be related to women who get SA'd.
No.
Your logic,
No. It's the fact
it doesn't
that
lead to one or the other.
No, it's the fact that you're talking about born again Christians,
Yeah.
and some women did not lose their virginity by having sex for pleasure,
Mm-hmm.
and in that case, no, they cannot get their hymen back. So that joke wasn't that funny.
Actually, that makes it funnier.
This chick's,
Here's how.
fucking
So in both
SJW.
cases, the joke works. If you're saying, God made me a born again virgin, okay? Me asking, did God give you back your hymen? How in the world would that be offensive to SA victims or prostitutes?
Why would you say that to an SA victim?
He didn't.
I didn't.
though.
I
know,
She's
I know. He
reaching.
asked a question.
She's
yeah,
fucking
why,
reaching.
so my
Clear
question
difference.
is, why would that actually be offensive to one though?
If you did say it to an SA victim, it actually would be offensive.
Why?
You didn't, so it's not the
Yeah, but
situation.
why? But you're not hearing me.
Because an SA victim
asking
didn't
if
choose
God
to
gave
have,
it back to you, how could that be offensive?
because they didn't choose to have it taken away from
I
them.
get it, but what does that have to do with God giving
It's
it back
just
to you?
being insensitive
I don't even
to
feel
someone's
like-
feelings.
Like, I don't even understand where you're not
Hello.
getting.
These men
I don't
also
see
don't
it.
believe
Hold
women.
on,
It might
hold
Women
on,
being
hold
in
on.
therapy
You
is a
didn't
red
say
flag.
the joke directly to her, so that's not the situation. But if
Well, I
you
didn't
did
say
say it
It
directly
wasn't
to
even
a
about
wasn't about
SA
SA at all.
I know.
I don't even feel like it's worth engaging on their level because your joke wasn't even about SA.
No, it
Yeah.
wasn't.
She's reaching.
But it's still, but even, but
And she's trying to deflect from the conversation about how does she reconcile your relation. If you consider yourselves
I'm a nun.
Christians, if you guys consider yourselves Christians, it's a fair question to ask. How do you reconcile that with your faith? That's a fair question.
I mean,
If
a
you
lot
want to
of
like,
Christians, though- a
if
lot
you
of-
want to deflect by like bringing up this is a really bad faith thing where you just try to like deflect 100 different things.
She
His
answered that
joke.
already, though.
I answered the question.
No, she didn't, because she immediately went, well, what about Christians who do X, Y, Z? That's not actually addressing his point.
I'm not saying that I can have a relationship with a woman because other people are sinners.
Okay, great. So then how do you reconcile the fact that you're in a same-sex relationship and consider it a relationship?
You said we're just best friends.
Yeah, no, I
We're
asked
just
you that and
roommates.
you said no.
You said we're just roommates. And I said, yeah, we can be that.
I said, well, that's
For
what
you.
it sounds like, but you said no.
Yes.
Yeah, so then that
I
would be
answered to
no.
God, not to you. It's
According
fine.
to her, it's not. She doesn't view it as roommates, but for your definition of what roommates would be, you can apply it to them.
Yeah.
All right, I have a question then. You guys are, well, I'm a little confused because you guys said you were maybe waiting for sex until marriage.
No, we
No,
didn't,
we didn't.
say that. You.
Okay,
yeah.
maybe I
That-
misheard.
you just-
Maybe
yeah,
I misheard
definitely
then.
do. that a lot.
But you're not you guys have had sex though, which is a
This lady said for you to fix that one little hanging piece of hair that you have.
So anyway, yeah, back to this.
I just asked you a question.
What did you ask?
Did you guys come on to troll?
No, absolutely not.
Yeah, you're being a bit too belligerent for the otherwise good faith question that I'm asking
What's your
you.
good faith question?
The good faith question.
I literally
still trying to figure out how you make this reconciliation.
Well, okay,
No,
so
he said he
He
asked
said
something. That
something
was what
else.
you asked.
Sex until marriage.
Nick, just
it was something about
did you
that.
show it
Something
and
about
then
sex
hide
till
it?
marriage.
Don't leave that shit
And we
up,
said
man.
no. I literally answered your question about the sex till marriage,
But you guys, if I recall correctly, you guys did have sex
and we don't feel
previously,
right about it,
you
and we don't have
and
sex.
you don't do it anymore.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes.
But are you guys desirous of getting married?
Honestly, I'm not. I don't even know, but I just want to be. We
Okay, you
are
guys
life
romantic.
partners,
Yes, you're
business partners.
romantically involved.
Yeah.
Are you desirous of potentially one day getting married?
I would want to get married, but I mean, at the end of the day, it depends on what God wants from us, and I'm not going to do
Okay.
anything
And
that
so
He wouldn't want.
so you guys, do you want kids?
we
To
will
foster.
Foster kids. Okay.
Yeah.
But so you're not desirous of having sex with each other
No.
or potentially sex with other partners
No.
No.
moving down the road.
I feel like
No,
you
we're
waste
not.
a lot of time if you focus your energy and mind on sex. You can do a lot more with yourself if you just open yourself
And
up
when you
to
find people
real
that someone
life
that has
experiences.
complementing or like, an opposite traits of you, so that you can come together and create beautiful things, beautiful work, beautiful business, beautiful life.
So
And
I'm
hold on, if I recall correctly, if this is my understanding, one of the reasons you guys don't want to have sex is for religious reasons. Is that correct?
And I just don't really like sex. Kind of
Okay.
grosses me out, all the stuff.
Is it the same for you, or is there
Yes.
is there a religious component to not
Well-
wanting to have sex?
I mean, the religious component is kind of in the back of our mind. It's a yes, but at the same time, we don't feel right. It's a very icky thing to do, and we feel convicted. So yes, at the end of the day, it is a religious thing.
And I feel the same way having sex with men, if that makes sense.
Okay.
But we are not here to troll.
Yeah, I didn't like having sex with men either. So.
Do you
it's the
ever
same
think
for
that it was
me.
maybe the person that you were having sex with was just a bad, it was a bad situation?
No.
In some cases,
Sex is
for me,
gross and
yes,
aggressive
but
and painful.
I also had some good men.
Here, hang on. I hear you out because you're saying it's gross and aggressive and painful. Those are all words.
I don't like
that-
the bodily saliva thing. And I feel like you're supposed to have sex when you want to procreate. We just have sex to have sex. And that's kind of why I said if you can't control yourself, take your husband,
I know,
take
but
your wife.
So wait,
you
you
have
think
been in a
only-
situation with SA, and so I feel like for you, you're viewing sex from that viewpoint. From I was attacked, I was abused.
Sex isn't only for procreation. Do you think that husbands and wives should only have sex for as many times as they want to have babies?
Then why do you not
I
believe in
think, yeah,
premarital
they should.
sex?
That's not what I said.
If sex is not only for marriage.
Nick, can you close the
if sex is
back
not only
door
for
open?
Yeah, we're
babies,
talking
then why
about
can't
it
you
through a
have premarital
religious
sex?
prism, though.
Because God
So we're
tells us
talking
that
about
sex
this
is just
specific.
between a man and a woman.
Yeah, but we're
No,
talking
a
about this-
husband and a
Why
wife.
can't you
I'm
have
sorry, a
that?
husband and a wife.
Why can't you have
Okay, so-
premarital sex in general?
Yeah, I get it. I get what you're saying, but you have a worldview conflict. So we're trying to speak within a worldview that she claims she has, I claim that I have, that you do not have. So within this worldview,
But ours are slightly different because you're Orthodox.
she just said,
And I'm just a
yes,
follower
but
of
the
Jesus
adaptation of the worldview versus secularist would be much harder for them to understand it than for you to understand it. So within the confines of this, you say sex is for procreation, right? Yes, I agree, but you would not agree that.
But in Genesis,
but
that's
hang on,
what
hang on.
it was
Let me
for, to
finish the question.
multiply.
Let me finish the question. But you would agree that inside of a marriage, having sex external to only having children is not a bad thing, right?
If the man and woman desire it, then yes. But I do believe there's several people, even who haven't been sexually assaulted, that don't have the desire to do that. They just don't.
Yeah,
I think
but
there's
that's
something
a-
underlying for
but
that.
But come on, that's not very common. Most of the time, married couples and couples
What about
in general
nuns?
have sex.
Did they all get sexually assaulted?
Again, that's a totally exception.
Bro, what
exception
is
to the
up
rule.
with
Wait, you
Sexual
can't go from
assault.
like
Holy
a
fuck.
few
was
women
bringing
don't
up
like
sexual
sex.
assault
Because she
So
just
it's
was
not
bringing
just
up
her.
sexual assault.
Yeah, but I wasn't.
Are you? Have you done something?
She's not
like-
just answering.
What?
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 I'm just saying, why are you so offended by that? Like,
Be-
honestly,
because of the graphic nature of it,
Well-
you have to be very careful about how it's phrased on the channel.
I said sexual, so I didn't ever say that.
yeah,
You
but
told me
just
the words
use
I couldn't
essay.
say.
Use essay.
Okay,
instead.
essay.
Okay.
But he's still gonna
was
say, "What the fuck
was
is
the-
your problem with
What
that?"
was the false accusation you were about to make?
I wasn't gonna false accuse. I was.
What
a
were you
question.
about to say?
There
I was
an
about to say-
implication for
What
sure.
were
Why are
you
you
about
getting
to
so
say?
defensive about sexual assault?
What were you about to say? No, that's not what you were about to say.
It's not.
Can we
No, it
rewind the
wasn't.
tape?
I know.
So
I
what-
know.
What were you
This is
about
why
to
the
say?
podcast takes 6 hours.
Yeah, I know.
No, because you're about to throw out a very fucking serious accusation.
No, it wasn't an
Yes.
accusation. It was going to be a question.
No, you were about to ask, have you ever done X? Right, that's what you were about to say.
Have you ever made a girl feel uncomfortable? Is what I was about to say. And is that why you are so offended? I'm just wondering why you're so
Have
offended.
you ever made a man uncomfortable?
Yeah, totally.
Do you do it a lot?
Maybe.
So you're the perpetrator?
It's not on purpose.
Oh, it just
I think men
happens?
feel uncomfortable when women
Just
question
happens?
them.
It's just by accident?
Sure.
No, okay.
I don't just sit there and go, "Oh my gosh,
Sounds
a
like
man."
sounds like you're the perpetrator here.
Sure.
Okay.
Oh wow.
Sure, he wanted me to argue with that.
Don't need you to argue with that. I'm happy with that
How
answer.
did we all get
I know.
speechless? How did we all get speechless on this topic? I want to go back to the
I mean, if you bite
generalization
that bullet, there's
hold
nowhere
on,
for me
you
to
are
go.
like the king of talking over everybody.
That's good because most of you have nothing good to say.
Listen,
We're
I
women.
that.
Because we're women. No, no, they
Listen,
literally
Not
do
'cause
not
you're women,
respect
it's because
women.
you're dumb. That's why.
it's
I'm not dumb.
Wait, that
What?
wasn't cool.
That's
No, that
fine.
was
I'm not
There's
dumb.
so
You're like
many
an
actual
actual dick.
words.
Bud, you're gonna
Yeah.
get canceled. Real
You're a
quick.
bigot,
Not
and that's
cool.
all.
if every
I'm
single
going to get
female at this
canceled?
table gets up and
By
walks
who?
out,
The
there's no
Rainbow
podcast.
Pride Parade? What are they going to do?
There are different levels of being smart. You can be
Okay,
Your behavior is actually you're
Brian.
acting dumb and uneducated. You're so educated, but you act like a little boy.
Oh, really? The cancel culture queen over here? I'm the one who's the problem?
I mean,
I'm not. I don't
apparently-
cancel anybody.
Listen, you're
got offended
apparently
over
like
a joke.
a
You got
God-fearing
offended
man.
No,
but you're
I
acting-
pointed out the joke as his character.
I know.
He has bad
I know.
character.
It's okay
He's
for
such
you
a
to be
godly
combative
man,
and
he
a brat, but
makes
if I say a
jokes that
word
like
about
that.
it, I'm the evil villain.
You're not an evil villain.
Yeah, good. Then stop whining and let's have the conversation.
We're having a conversation. Who's
No, all
whining?
you've been doing is whining.
I've been
and
keeping
crying,
the
and
same
she's
tone the
gonna
whole time.
cancel me.
You're literally
pause.
just a
Why do
sexist
you
man.
think
I
she's
was gonna cancel
whining?
you.
What
I
state?
figured
in
She's
the-
literally
what part
been-
of it makes you feel
because
like
she's
whining
whining
to
about
you?
a joke he made a
often
few
what
episodes
happens
ago.
is when women are made to feel uncomfortable, they have two options. The first option is they could argue, but they suck at that. So they usually go to option two, which is to whine and complain and be brats and talk about fucking nonsense.
What is
How long
Whiners
have you been
about
married
you?
for? Oh my!
That's what I'm
this is
saying.
Wild to me.
Thank you.
Dude, his
he
wife-
is not a real man.
Did you just?
He's not.
He is not, and
I
he is
agree.
not. He wants a woman to do whatever they want.
Not
like,
real, man.
He's not.
You're
Where
tucking
did you
in
find
bed
this
with a
guy?
chick.
You're a
What are you
you're a
talking about?
biological man.
Yeah.
But
Hold
your
on.
brain
Stop.
is
Shut
little
up.
boy.
Hold on. Stop. Everybody cease with the ad homs. Everybody stop with ad homs. We're going to try to get through this podcast without it having to devolve into like personal attacks every 5 minutes. Go ahead.
Okay, speaking of personal attacks, I would like him to go around the table and tell us exactly who he thinks is dumb on this podcast, because
Yo,
I've barely spoken.
I've literally just tried to move things along. Just drop it. I told everybody
I
to
like
stop.
the question.
Hold
If
on.
we question
Bro,
them, we're wrong.
stop,
They can question
stop.
us. We have to answer all their questions. If we have
Spencer
to, it's your private life.
donated $200. Andrew Wilson, get
I just didn't
cancelled,
realize you guys were actually this bad.
Anyway, my
It's insane.
sprinkler goes like this.
I'm trying to.
Thank you.
I agree with the
Jesus
comments.
would not agree, and I'm very upset, and I'm sure he is too.
Comes back like it.
Tell it to your priest who marries your preacher or whoever it is.
Okay.
No, my priest just
We're not
understands
gonna
that he doesn't have enough
continue-
knowledge of the Hebrew language to
You need to stop.
act like you.
You need to stop.
The Hebrew language.
You guys need to stop. We're going to stop devolving into ad homs. We're going to stop having meta conversations. I tried to move things on. Why are you bringing it back to a meta conversation and trying to let me move the conversation on so we can have a show?
By the way,
Wait,
Don't
so
ask him to go around to every table and state why everybody's dumb.
I only called the person I was
let
arguing
us
with.
No,
though.
you
You
said
I
that.
told
Okay,
everybody
then, all right,
to
that's
stop.
what I wanted to hear, is that because you generally
I
said because
told
you all are dumb. I
everybody-
wanted to hear that was,
Yeah.
We're going to stop having meta
I'm not.
conversations. We're going to get into the actual content of the show.
this is the content.
No, it's not. Okay.
Act like you don't want all the drama.
Not really. Not really. Okay, did you have a different question that you wanted to ask? Or was that it?
Nothing at all.
Okay.
This all started because you made.
Yo. Did you not just hear what I said?
I just wanted to
cease
get
with the
context.
meta
Okay,
conversation.
sorry.
Do you know what a meta conversation is?
No.
Andrew,
The
explain what a-
conversation about the conversation.
We're going to
Okay,
cease
got
having
it.
meta conversations. Let's actually get into the content.
Okay.
Okay. God damn. Holy shit.
That was just an intro.
Man of God.
He's not. Not
Okay.
him.
I've heard him say it.
That's.
Which means he's
Verbatim,
an
you
ins-
said you're
He
a
doesn't
man of
identify
God.
as a Christian.
So
So don't
Look.
say you're a man of God. Then.
it doesn't matter.
He doesn't.
He has.
He
could go
called
back
himself
to
a man
clips.
of God with her parents or whatever.
Wait, so hold on. Now you're saying that, well, hold
Whoever
on.
the
I'm,
frick was sitting across the
questioning
table.
you. I'm questioning you because you took the Lord's name in vain. Guys, please don't fucking high horse on this. Like, come on, you guys are not.
We're not high
abiding-
horsing.
guys
You
are not-
high horse as well. If you want,
You guys are not. You guys yourselves
We're
are
just
not
not on the same
abiding.
level of
Yo,
men, so we can't
if I'm
act like he
talking,
acts.
Stop interrupting.
I'll submit to you.
Yo, you've got a fucking really nasty attitude. For this show to work, you can't be interrupting. You can't be having meta conversations. You can't be throwing out these little quips and jabs. Do you understand? What are you doing?
So we're allowed to be interrupted, but by him.
As the host. So first
not
off,
by he's not the host, correct? Is that correct?
okay,
You interrupted
you're
me, I interrupted
you're
you.
interrupting
No, you
me now.
interrupted me first.
I'll
I
try
just wanted
to-
to make it clear. You're the host. We yield to you.
I
Okay.
will try to limit interruption from everybody, but I was in the middle of talking and you were interrupting me.
This time, yes. I'm done now.
Bro, you got a bad fucking attitude. Holy fuck.
You immediately started. No.
Ah,
You
man.
also have a bad attitude. Let's keep
No,
going.
I don't. I've been trying to get this back
so normal.
back straight, but you got a bad attitude.
What's the next question?
Can I talk about my 12-year marriage?
No.
Not juicy enough.